Hello everyone, I'm coming back at ya from the same place I was last time, but just a little bit more on edge because like so much has gone on that I feel like, let me grab my microphone, so much has gone on that I feel like it's time. I didn't want to like gossip on this channel and I still don't want to, but I do think I need to like explain where I am and why I'm legitimately on the brink. And I don't think anyone's gonna see this. Famous last words, but I truly believe no one's gonna see this. Basically, a snowstorm has been running rampant across New York City and across, I think, the US or East Coast or like the world, I don't know. Anyway, basically what's happened, I live in a 3-bedroom, okay? That means it's what? 1, 2, 3 bedrooms. And then naturally I have 1, 2, 3, 2 roommates, 3 of us in the space. And something peculiar happened 2 weeks before the snowstorm hit, where one of my roommates tells me the night before her friend comes that her friend's coming into town. Fine, great, love to house a friend, but tells me her friend's going to be here for 2 weeks. It's 14 days. 2 weeks, 14 days. And I literally think I froze. Like I didn't do anything because I was like, no way, right? I'm not gonna harp on it too long. See, I can't naturally gossip. I'm not gonna harp on it too long. Our friend comes though for the 2 weeks and I get through it. I've been having the most stressful time at work, you know, so I've also been frustrated because I have a stressful time at work and then I come home and my home is not a place to relax when you have guests, because on top of the guest that was coming for 2 weeks, she then had 2 more friends that came into town the weekend of the snowstorm. So essentially 7 people in a place, 7 people in a 3-bedroom for one of them over 2 weeks, 4 people. Are you confused by the math? I'm confused by the math. Essentially 4 people in a 3-bedroom for 2 weeks, and then 7 people in a 3-bedroom for like 3+ days. And that just gets to a point. And I had gotten to a point where I was like waking up anxious and like in the middle of the night. And I was like, and everything was so loud. I was overstimulated at work. Like the nature of my job is just overstimulating, and then I like come home and it's also overstimulating. When I tell you this, I'm not even making funny jokes, and I'm sorry in this video, because when I tell you I was legitimately on the freaking brink, like I was at the point where I was like, $3,200 for a 1-bedroom isn't that bad. $3,200 a month, I can figure that out, like legitimately. And how I would figure that out, I don't know, other than prostitution. Like then in the midst of all of that happening, I was filming like a self-tape that week that I was like kind of nervous and stressed about, and then my tripod broke in the middle of it, and so like I had this hectic day at work. My tripod breaks as I'm filming my self-tape that evening, and then I come home to 7 people. And then I came home and I was like, do you know what I'm gonna do? I'm just gonna film a video because this brings me joy and it's a fun thing even if no one watches it. And then guess what happens? I pull out my tripod and then I remember it's broken. And then I remember my tripod's broken. And so it doesn't work. It doesn't work. No, it doesn't. Anyway, I'm leaving for work soon, so I was like, I want to film this video because I love filming these videos. They're funny. Even if no one watches them, they're funny to me. I like go back and rewatch them. Instead of like watching Netflix, I watch myself. Pull out the tripod, it's broken. Oh, and did I mention on my way home one day this week, my AirPods started squeaking. The AirPods I've had since 2022, and it's 2026. So I'm starting to accept the fact that I need a new pair of AirPods. With what money I'm gonna use to get these new AirPods, I don't know. I'm gonna get a new tripod because I need one. What else has been going on in my life? Movie. Okay, on the snow day, I went to go see a movie, The Testament of Anne Lee. That was amazing. And that actually gave me some levity. It and Lee and Shakerism and how she brought it to America. And Amanda Seyfried starred and played Ann Lee, and she was phenomenal. Like, there's just some performances you watch that just kind of remind you why you love acting and why you're passionate about it and what it means to like truly commit to a character. And it was so inspiring. And I was one of 3 people in the theater because it was a snow day. And it was amazing, an amazing experience. And I've been listening to the worship soundtrack. I might convert. No, I'm kidding. I've been wanting to talk about this for a while because the film was longer. It was 2 hours, 20 minutes, I think. I am one of those people where I will always defend a long movie. Like, I was talking to someone at work the other day, and he was like, what's up with like movies being so long nowadays? And I was like, oh boy, don't you get me started. That is my bread and butter. I love a long film. The Best Picture noms this year, like, they're all over 2 hours, which is awesome. Some like circling close to 3. I haven't seen Avatar yet because it is 3, it's damn near 4 hours, and I live for that, don't get me wrong, but also I have to create time for that, and what time, I don't know. But I think it's awesome. I don't think I have to talk about anything else. I think I just needed to set up and rant about like my life right now and how, I don't know. I think it does like motivate you in a weird way though. Like, I just saw a TikTok of this girl. This is kind of a side note, but it kind of goes with what I've been talking about. So I saw this TikTok of this girl who started doing ballet when she was 20 and talks about how she like always wanted to do it, and then cut to when this year, I guess, she's 22 and she's like already on point. Her lines are gorgeous. She was like showing videos, and the whole video was like, you know, dedicating herself to something. Like, it will pay off and it won't take nearly as much time as you think it might. And I've been thinking about that a lot with every avenue of my life. When I think about my artistry, which I talk about a lot on here or whatever platforms I post this on, I don't know, it's all sporadic and non-linear, but anyway, I talk about that a lot on here and with my friends, is staying dedicated to it in the chaos of life. And sometimes it's hard, and that was a good reminder seeing that TikTok, even though I need to not be on TikTok as much, a reminder to keep going and to be even more dedicated and hungry and not be afraid to be, and to like sacrifice time. I don't know, I could like sit in bed, even though rest is important, but like I could sit in bed and like not do anything and because that's what happens, I think, when you start. Like, I'm so grateful for being able to provide for myself and things like that, but what comes with like doing work that isn't completely focused in what you want to do for life is it can kind of become a distraction if you're not careful, especially when it's like I enjoy the work that I do for the most part. It can become a distraction unintentionally, and then you might need to like decompress from it, as we all just need to decompress from work or whatever sometimes. And ensuring that I take my time to decompress, but I also don't forget why I'm in New York to begin with. And I think that's happened a lot. But I was just on the phone with my mom yesterday talking about all of this. And she says this, and I think she's right, that I don't give myself enough credit. I don't think anyone does, because we were doing the math, because I was like, yeah, I've been here like 4 years now in New York. And she was like, no, you haven't. And I was like, what? And she's like, I don't even think you hit your 2 years yet. Like, you came in 2024 and it's 2026. And it was like, that was just sort of like, and it's like 4 years, that's also impossible. I graduated college in 2023. Like, it's actually impossible. I've been here for 4 years, but like, it's felt like I've lived so many lives that it's felt like that much amount of time. And giving myself a lot more grace when it comes to, when I talk about building community here, where like, now I feel like I have a lot more community, yet I'm still building it out. But I don't think I give myself enough credit that like it takes a while, and it's only been 2 years, and it's not college, so even that part of it might look a little bit different because you're adults and you all have different lives that you're living, and you're trying to schedule time with one another, and like allowing for that and allow for community to build slower over time. Or with like my career, it's like, okay, now that I work full time, the way that I approach it, I can still be just as hungry, but it just might look a little bit different, and I might take a little bit extra time, but that's okay, because it's the path that I've chosen, but also the path that just I'm on, right? That was the only way I was going to be able to stay in New York, is if I got a full-time job and I'm doing that and I'm working it out, and like as long as I stay hungry, like back to that TikTok, and keep that hunger and that fervor for why I'm here and what I actually want to do, I will reach those goals. Even taking the initiative to create my own work in between work, other work, performance work that I want to do, or being in the position where I can't always take every performance opportunity if it doesn't align with like my work schedule. And so that means sometimes I'm creating my own performance opportunities more often, and that's okay, and that's beautiful, and that's honing skills and tools of mine that, who knows, I might need in the future at some point. So it's, everything's working to your good. That's what my mom and dad used to always say, and still say, like, God's working everything toward your good. That's something they always say, and I think it's very true that, like, God, the universe, whatever you believe, like, it is working to your benefit, and to trust that and to try any and everything. Like, I also saw another TikTok. I need to get off TikTok, but I saw it, okay? And it was this woman, and she was talking about how, because she was pregnant, and she was like, when I have my daughter, I want her to play violin. And she was like, or she talked about having that thought when she had her daughter, and then she was like, I realized I'm not dead, and I myself could play violin, because she loved violin, and she was like, I want my daughter to play violin and, I don't know, be like a young prodigy at violin. And she's like, I'm not dead, I can literally do that myself. And so she started playing violin or cello or something like that, and I love that. And I think that's so true. And I think there's a lot of things in my life where I do similarly, not in the kids, God forbid, I don't want kids, but more so in the vein of, you know, when I'm more financially stable, when I'm richer, or when I'm living alone, or when I'm just have a better job, or when I'm doing what I want to do, when I'm acting, when I'm dancing, when I'm choreographing and doing that full time, then I'll do this, that, and the third. And it's like, I can create my own dance film now, you know, I can start writing scripts now, you know, it might not be my best work ever, and that's okay, because I have that inkling that I want to do it. And again, I'm not dead. And so leaning and depending on time in the future that I don't even know if I'll have to create work, when I could just create it now, because the ideas in my brain, on my heart now, it's silly. Do it now. Like, why wait? I have the time, I have the energy, I'm 24, you know, I'm never going to be this young again. I'm never also going to know as much as I know right now again, if that makes sense. Like, I'm the smartest, I can't speak. I'm the smartest I've ever been right now. So trust that intelligence and that wisdom that I've developed in the last 24 years. No, it's not infinite wisdom. No, it's not everything I'm ever going to know yet, but it is everything I know as of now. And so to take that and use that to motivate me, to make the art that I want to make the decisions that I want to make for the betterment of myself and my life and my future, and to trust that I, right now, as Kayla at 24 years old, on January, what is today, 27th, am making the best decisions I can for myself, for my future self, and to trust that. And I think that just comes down to a bigger thing about trusting yourself, which I've struggled with, honestly, for much of my life. And that's probably a major goal of this year, is to get better at that, is trusting my judgment and my intuition and what I'm passionate about and what I'm moving toward, and knowing that it's gonna all come together. I don't have to understand it. I don't have to understand how acting and dance and choreography and writing and all these things are supposed to come together, you know, just because I can't fit it into a traditional box that we've already seen, like musical theater or like whatever, this, that, and the third. Just because I can't quite fit it there, doesn't mean it doesn't fit there, and also two, doesn't mean like that's what I'm supposed to do only or ever or whatever. And to like free myself from the shackles of trying to fit myself into a box. And that sounds corny, and I feel like people talk about that all the time, but it really is so hard to not try to fit yourself into one, because it just feels better, it feels clearer, even if it's not necessarily more clear, even if it doesn't necessarily guarantee a job or guarantee stability or guarantee a secure future. It can at least give the illusion of that, and that's addictive, especially if you're a young person that's kind of charting this path all on your own. Like, my parents are artists. I think everyone's an artist, but not to be corny, but I do. But I think my parents are, you know, they don't work in the arts, and they're people that are passionate about it. They're lovers of it. They give a lot of money to the arts. They appreciate it greatly. But that's not something that they pursued or wanted to pursue as a career path, a life's passion in that way. And so a lot of this I'm charting like by myself, and I'm figuring it out, and to give myself grace about that. Like, if I make a decision that I later on, I'm like, okay, that was the best thing, or maybe that wasted more time than I realized, that's okay. I'm figuring this out. And I don't know why it's making me emotional. I think it's just everything between last week and getting like 0 sleep. Maybe that's why I'm like emotional right now. But anyway, I'm like getting all like emotional and cryy, and it's, I don't know, I'm getting awkward, but especially because I've just been dealing with the general dissatisfaction with my life right now. And I think it's the winter blues in part. Like, I always get just a little depressy-essy in Jan and Feb. So I think it's also partly that. But I think also I'm a big picture person, and I've always struggled with the little moments in life and how it adds up to the bigger picture. Like, I think other people are better at seeing little moments and thinking I may not understand them, but I know it's all going to come together. I think I have to like tell myself that constantly, because I don't trust that, which is my own cross to bear, and I'll figure it out. But yeah, anyway, this took like, it started really high energy and it took like a nosedive. Sorry, this got like really sad. I was like really like quirky and fun, and then I started like dead ass tearing up. Sorry about that. I don't know. Thanks so much for watching. I'll see you in the next one, and hopefully I have a tripod when that happens, but there's a possibility I won't. The elephant in the room today is my water bottle, because again, we're on a budget. I don't have a microphone yet. We'll see when I get one. All right, thanks for watching. Bye.